Welcome to Founders in Flow, the podcast where two seasoned entrepreneurs, Neil and Ijlal, dive into real conversations about what it takes to build, grow, and scale an online business. Let's get into the flow.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Founders in Flow. I'm Neil Napier, and today we're diving into a topic that hits home for many entrepreneurs. It's about scaling a business to 30K per month and the burnout that often follows. It's a journey paved with success and a good dose of reality. I'm pleased to have Ijlal Ahmed with me today to unpack this topic. Hey Ijlal, how's it going?
Hey Neil, I'm doing great, a bit sore from the gym, but that's a given at this point, right? I'm excited to be here and dive into this topic with you. It's something I've experienced firsthand, and I know a lot of our listeners will relate.
Absolutely, and that's why your insights today are going to be invaluable. Last time we touched on strategic adaptation, and today feels like the next logical step, how to keep the ship steady as you steer it through uncharted waters. So let's get right into it. Can you give us a bit of background on your journey to 30K per month?
Sure. Scaling to 30K a month was one wild ride. It started with my first major venture, which was as much about learning as it was about the end financial goal. I went from selling fries as a kid to millions online, and those early experiences taught me a lot about hustle. Once I transitioned to digital products and SaaS, I knew that consistency was crucial, not just in delivering products, but maintaining quality.
And when you hit that 30K mark, what did it feel like? Was it a moment of celebration, or was it more like, okay, what's next?
It was definitely both. On one hand, reaching that benchmark felt like validation, proof that the late nights and sacrifices were paying off. But on the other hand, there was this looming pressure to keep it up. It's like reaching the summit of a mountain only to see another peak ahead of you. That's where the pressure starts mounting.
I can totally relate to that. And that leads us to the central discussion today. Burnout. Tell us about what led to that phase for you.
The burnout came from this relentless pursuit of the next milestone without really taking stock of the process itself. I was so focused on growth and metrics that I neglected the human aspect, my mental health, relationships, even my hobbies. It's a trap many fall into, trying to push through fatigue without acknowledging the emotional toll.
It's such a common narrative, but often kept under wraps. So looking back, what would you do differently to manage this? Let's talk about strategies you think could have helped mitigate that burnout.
First and foremost, I would have prioritized building a team sooner. You can't do everything yourself. Delegating allows you to focus on the big picture without getting bogged down by daily operations. And self-care isn't just a buzzword, it's essential. Regular breaks, exercise, and downtime are not just nice to have, they're necessary for sustainable growth.
You've nailed an important point there. Understanding what self-care looks like for you personally. It can be different for everyone. I found that stepping away from screens and getting into nature works wonders. Plus, creating systems that allow the business to function even in your absence is crucial.
Quick break from today's episode, but this is really exciting. If you've been enjoying this podcast so far, here's a little secret. We didn't write or speak a single word of it ourselves. Every episode of Founders in Flow is created using a tool we're building called PodGorilla, and it's about to change the way podcasts are made. PodGorilla lets you generate an entire podcast episode, from the topic to the script to the voiceover, using nothing but AI. You can pull inspiration from YouTube videos, PDFs, or even just drop in your own ideas. Then it gives you a complete, ready-to-publish audio episode in your voice. All you need to do is hit generate and let the tool do the work. And right now, we're opening up early access. If you want to be one of the first people to try PodGorilla before anyone else, and see how we're using it behind the scenes, just head over to podgorilla.co and join the waitlist. That's podgorilla.co. The future of podcasting is just one click away. Now, back to the episode.
Exactly. I also think setting realistic expectations and communicating them effectively with your team and yourself is vital. The hustle culture glorifies overwork, but it's a marathon, not a sprint. Structuring your day to prevent that frantic back-to-back scheduling is a game changer.
Agreed, and this brings me to managing priorities. Sometimes scaling too fast can mean chasing opportunities that aren't aligned with your core mission. Has that happened to you, and how would you navigate that in hindsight?
Oh, it absolutely did happen. At one point, I was trying to juggle multiple projects with varying degrees of alignment to my long-term goals. In hindsight, maintaining a clear, prioritized list of objectives would have saved not just time but significant mental strain. Thinking long-term instead of where the next dollar is coming from tomorrow helps stabilize your business and mindset.
That's sage advice. At the end of the day, resilience isn't about never facing challenges, but about rising above them with a clearer vision for the future. For anyone listening who might be on the verge of burnout as they scale, what would you say?
I'd say take a moment to step back and breathe. Reflect on what's truly important. Talk to someone, whether it's a mentor or coach. Build a support system and set boundaries around your time and energy. Remember that your journey is your own. It's not defined by others' timelines, nor should it be at the expense of your well-being.
That's incredibly empowering, Ijlal. We're closing out, and I want our listeners to take away some actionable insights from today. So, one last thing. What's one immediate step they can take today to ease the pressure of scaling?
Start by auditing your time and energy. Where are you spending it? And what's the return on that investment? Simplify where possible, automate the mundane, and remember that not every opportunity is the right one for you. Small adjustments can lead to profound shifts in your business and quality of life.
Couldn't agree more, Ijlal. It's been a pleasure having you here, sharing and reflecting on not just what went right, but also what you'd change. I know our listeners will find this as valuable as I have. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Neil. It's always a pleasure to share these experiences and hopefully guide others on their journeys. Looking forward to next time.
And thank you to everyone listening. If you found today's episode insightful, do share it with fellow entrepreneurs and let us know what topics you want more of. Until next time, keep growing, keep learning, and most importantly, keep your flow steady. We'll catch you in the next one.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Founders in Flow with Neil and Ijlal. If you found value in today's conversation, make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. We drop new insights regularly, all focused on helping you grow faster, market smarter, and make more money online. Until next time, stay consistent, keep learning, and keep building.